Hi, everyone. I am excited to be here for another Facebook Live. Oh, actually, this is YouTube. I'm so used to saying that. I apologize. Yay, my third YouTube video. I need to get used to this, but I'm really happy to be here. And this one is titled "You Are Not Your Illness, and It Is Not Yours to Keep." Now, some of this might sound contradictory because I'm here doing a video that has this title, and you'll see what I mean. But I will explain myself through this, and hopefully it'll make sense. So, as I said in a few other videos, in 2006, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And at that time, I didn't even know what multiple sclerosis was. I um, was scared because I had read the results on a piece of paper about my brain and about my body. And I went to neurologists at the MS clinic. And um, right from the beginning, the neurologists were kind of telling me what would happen to me and what I would go through. And I even had to sit through a 2-hour nurses session within weeks. That showed diagrams of the trajectory of my life. But it wasn't just of my life, it was of everybody that was sitting in that room. And there were lots of people in that room. And I could see the fear in their faces. And I'm not saying that I didn't have that as well. But I was lucky enough to have some people in my life that really were aware of the mind body connection, that were into natural healing. I think I had some connections to that myself without realizing what a great impact those people from my past would have, now that I was going through what I was going through. And because of that, I think I had an open mind to other possibilities. Don't get me wrong, I was scared, but I knew that there were other options. Um, and it was kind of a good thing that I didn't really know what MS was because I wasn't bombarded with um, what other people were saying would happen or other people's stories that were like kind of in the negative realm. Um, and I didn't even go on the internet to look up things because I didn't know what I would find. And I didn't want to, you can't believe everything that you read on the internet. So, um, yeah, even through these nurses sessions, I was really shocked at how, like, it was almost like, okay, now you have this label on you for this illness, and now all of a sudden the doctors know exactly what's going to happen to you. It doesn't matter where you came from, how old you are, what your cultural background was. They never asked, like, what are you going through emotionally? Um, like looking at the different types of symptoms, because everybody that has MS has different symptoms. Um, and there was no regard for like the individual. And don't get me wrong, I do understand that professionals and specialists have a huge amount of training, and hopefully they're largely there to help, and they have um, certain protocols they have to go through. And I'm not even blaming them, but I just think that the system kind of disregards a lot about the individual. And so this is my first point about this video, this title about "You Are Not Your Illness," um, is that a diagnosis, yes, is really helpful. I was glad to know that there was actually something happening in my body that was the reason that I was having the symptoms that I was having, and the numbness and the difficulty with movement and fatigue and all of that. But I refuse to be defined by that illness. That does not make me Like I was surrounded by people who um, kind of, I don't want to say surrounded by, sorry, I would say that I was in contact with people who either had MS or have MS or knew someone that did. And it was like I was bombarded with like, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. And even what was supposed to be support groups through the MS clinic felt really difficult because, like, just sitting in the waiting room around people that were in wheelchairs or were having difficulty walking and stuff, I'm sure that that already got put into my head that, like, it was like subconsciously my body was taking that in as like, this is the way that your life is going to go. And um, I my heart goes out to the people that has been the case, but I wanted to also be surrounded by the people who had autoimmune or have autoimmune or MS, and their life went in a different direction. And luckily, I started meeting those people. I think because I had a bit of that opening in my mind and the hopefulness, and also kind of like a longing to find that. Like, it's like I wanted to believe it. So I started meeting people that were doing amazing things and they had MS. And um, they went out and started doing all these physical activities because they were really appreciating their body after, being told that they wouldn't be able to do this or that. And they just became more body conscious and more healthy that way. Um, And so I remember like still being really scared because I didn't know what the right thing to do was, whether to take medication, who to see, who not to see. Um, and I remember that someone found out about my situation and told me to get in touch with this woman who was also had been diagnosed with MS. And I guess she was a teacher like me. And they said, you should talk to her and she'll like tell you where she's at and how she's been doing. And I was kind of relieved to have someone to talk to. And I remember calling her, and I remember this conversation very, very distinctly, um, because she was so negative. And I don't mean negative towards me, but just like kind of like she had given into what was told would happen to her. And she kind of, yeah, she was giving me advice. And I think she thought she was being really helpful, but it was very like, so this is going to happen to you. So you'll need this. And um, it was just very kind of like life is going to change and it's not going to be very good. But these are my tips on how to handle that. And I was like, no, I can't, that's not my, it's not even my personality to go there. But like, I just felt like if I start believing that now, at the time that I was diagnosed and going through all these things, then I will make it happen even more. Like, I will make those things happen that she was saying that made her life even harder. And I didn't want to do that. So I decided to not spend time there. I decided to spend time surrounded by the things and the people and the activities that made me feel alive. And a lot of them were scary things that I didn't think that I could do or that I kind of felt like shy about. One of them was dance, one of them was singing. Anything to do with expression and especially anything active like sports or um, fitness, because I always thought that I wasn't a very sporty person. But I started surrounding myself with people that were doing these things that I wanted to do. And I started surrounding myself, not denying at all. Never. I was not denying that I have MS, but I was not defining myself by it either. Because I started meeting some people that had chronic illness, or whether it was MS and autoimmune or something else. And like that was the conversation all the time. That was their conversation. That was their identity. That was their, um, that's what they connected their selves to. And because I was on the outside of those situations, I could see it. And I just decided, I don't know that it was conscious at first. I think subconsciously at first, I decided that I'm not going to be like that. I just, again, I wasn't denying that there was a serious health issue happening with me, but I was thinking that if I'm going to be living this and working through it and working towards healthy, then I'm not going to make my identity about the illness. I'm going to make my work to get through it and to become healthy and to learn from it. And so that's what I have been doing. And then, so that's kind of one of the parts of you are not your illness. But the second part is that, and your, now I have to remember what I called this. You are not your illness, and your illness is not yours to keep. So, what I mean by that is that I didn't realize that I was doing this, but for a long time, I would describe MS and the things that I was going through with MS as my MS. So, like, oh, I, I'm having this issue because of my MS, or um, I have an appointment to go over where I'm at with my MS, or um, it could be like something even to do with like an actual symptom, or that I can't go out with some friends because I'm tired that day, and I need to explain that it's, I'm having numbness, or I'm don't have the energy to do this, and it's because of my MS. I don't know. I wish I could remember the moment where I realized I was doing that, because it was so powerful. What I think it was is that I heard other people saying this. And maybe it happened once or twice where someone said my MS, or my chronic fatigue, or my whatever. And it was maybe very subtle at first, like just one person here or one person there. But I think then I started hearing it more from other people. And I realized, wow, this is irritating me that they're saying this, not because they're bad people or they're saying something wrong, but like now it's become like they own it. And I was doing the same thing. It was like I was owning my MS. Like, again, I don't say my MS, but I'm just using it in this phrase, like in this example to explain. But I was owning the MS um, as if it was mine to keep, like forever and ever. And again, that's not me being unrealistic and saying like, oh, I could just like let it go whenever I want to, or just make it disappear. But to be honest, there's a part of me that thinks that I can, that this I could eradicate the symptoms if I get to the core of the issues. But the point being is that regardless of whether that's true or not, it is not mine to hold on to. It's not like a possession that I have. And I think the more that I or anybody else start saying my MS, or my whatever it is that you're going through, that's like an illness, the thing is that you make it such a part of your identity, and you hold on to it so much that you don't give it space to let it go. It's like you get so used to that being a part of you that you no longer would, even if you were getting towards healthy, you wouldn't know how to let it go and how to not have it be a part of you. And I don't want that. I'm not trying to hang on to the MS. See how I said the MS? And I I understand that MS, like for example, I'm going to use MS as an example. It affects everyone differently, and I do believe that those the symptoms and even getting a illness like MS comes from personal experience, from emotions, from trauma, from uh, anything that is like a pain body that has been stuck down in your system and not gotten a chance to come out. And so, in that way, I do believe that it's very individual according to that person's experience, according to that person's life story, and how they react to things, what their sensitivity is. But it's not theirs, like, as in, like, they own it and that it just has control over them. Because I have to be careful here what I say. I know that. Of course, if I felt completely, able to control or let go of MS, I wouldn't have it. Um, but I think that you will always keep it with you. It will always be a part of your identity if you don't give it space to not make it your own, to not call it my, because then it becomes like a part of your system. Like it's like my eyes, my hands, like my MS. Like, no, it's not mine. It's not mine. It might be mine to figure out where it's coming from and mine to um, work through and to heal from. But it's not mine, as in, like, it's now become a part of me. So I just wanted to share this video because I honestly think that that kind of frame of mind, that turning of like shifting of a frame of mind, has been so powerful to me. I recognize the support that is out there for people who have any sort of illness, and that being able to speak to someone or be in circles with other people that are going through the same things can be very, very healing, or just like feel supportive because you're not the only one, and that you can like talk to other people and find out how they are dealing with it. You don't feel alone. But at the same time, I don't want to surround myself with that and then put in my mindset that whatever that person is going through, whatever happened with that person, that's where I'm going to end up. Um, Unless they, of course, have that mindset that is very positive and they understand that everyone's trajectory is different and they are not defining themselves with the MS. And I still catch myself sometimes saying my MS. And I definitely hear a lot of other people saying that. And I don't go around trying to correct people because it's up to each person to see it the way they want to. But once in a while, if it's someone that's closer to me or we're having a deep conversation and they're actually asking my advice of how I deal with these kind of things, I will say to them that I notice that you say my, whatever it is, my, um, yeah, chronic fatigue, my, um, I can't even think of anything right now, but like, whatever the autoimmune condition is or the illness. And I might say gently to them, like, have you ever considered not saying my, like, because you're now attaching yourself to it. And if your body is going to be working towards healing, even if it's healing, you might not want to let it go after you've called it my for so long. Like that might be another um, process that's going to be really difficult. Like if I keep calling the MS my MS, and then I'm on this trajectory of healing and I'm doing all these great things to make myself better, and I really believe that I can get better and get to the core of it. If I get there, when I get there, if I try to release that because I no longer need to hang on to it, I might actually be scared of releasing it because I've attached it to myself so much that I've actually even just called it my for so many years. And I think that in itself is going to make everything really difficult. So I do think each person's pain, illness, healing journey is very individual, but I don't think that it needs to be that you own, and I don't mean as in like a powerful owning, but that you attach it to your identity. You don't need to. It's something that you're working through. It's not something that is you. And that has been a game changer for me because whenever I catch myself making MS just completely a part of me, I have to remind myself that that's not my identity. I may have gotten that because of some things that I've experienced, because of the way I reacted to certain things, because my body was trying to speak to me and wanted me to change some things, but that does not mean that I am MS. I'm not my MS. I'm a body that needed to work through some things, and MS decided to come into my world to teach me to slow down, to take better care of myself, to set better boundaries. I'm going to go into all of this in another video, but yeah, so I'm leaving you with that thought. You are not your illness, and it is not yours to keep. It is yours to heal from, to learn from, but it's not yours. Thank you all for listening. I will see you next week.